I'm playing 5-10 at Bellagio, the biggest session of my life, and I hit some really big hands and go for some really big bluffs. We're in for $2,000, the biggest buy-in I've ever bought in for. Let's just go ahead and get into this one. One of the first hands we see pocket kings. You guys smell that? It smells like money's going in the middle. I pop it up to $20 from the button and get 2 callers from my buddy Corbin in the small blind and a reg in the big blind to a flop of deuce king 5 rainbow. Holy shit, we flopped the nuts. It checks to me, and earlier that day I flopped top set on the driest board ever. I bet and got folds. Is there literally a turn card we're scared of? I mean, what, like ace 3, ace 4 hitting a gutter? If it happens, it happens. I'm just gonna check behind. The turn is the 7 of hearts, and now Corbin leads into us for $30. The big blind folds, and when it gets to me, I do think this should be a raise, actually, because it just pot needs to get built more when we have the nuts here. But I end up just putting in the call, which is obviously a mistake. The river is the queen of clubs. We still have the absolute nuts. In one of my first hands in the biggest session of my life. Please bet into me, Corbin. But he doesn't. He slows down and checks. All hope is not lost, because he knows that I often have nothing when I bet, which you'll see in this vlog. Sometimes that's the truth. But not right now. I have the stone cold nutter butters. I put in a bet for $110, and he goes into a tank that makes me think he might raise. Eventually, he starts picking up a black chip, picks up a $10 chip, which confused me this entire time, so I've never seen that before. He puts in the call. We're 1 for 1 on the day in a pot that frankly should have been bigger than it was. The very next shuffle, we open king queen to $30, get 2 callers, flop top pair, c-bet, get some folds, and then we pick up jack 10 in a limp pot multi-way. To a flop of 3 king 5 with 2 hearts. It's not me at all. It checks around, including myself. To a turn of the ace of spades, we now pick up a gutter. There's a lead for $30, a call on my right, and this should just be a fold, especially in a game I'm not entirely comfortable in yet, but for some reason I put in the call. The river's a 7 of hearts. The guy who bet on the turn checks. I don't think he's doing that with a flush. The guy on my right checks, and it's on me. Now, I know we can't win if I check, and this table, aside from the 6 seat, has been very, very tight. So I think I can get away with a bluff. If I had hearts, I would probably play it the same way. I bet out for $160. The first guy folds, which is great, and then the second guy starts counting out chips. Oh no, what does he have here? Does he have like... And did he turn an ace? Is he going to call me down with like ace 8, ace 9? Eventually, he puts in the call and he shows ace 3. Nice hand to him. He definitely had a value hand. I don't blame him for calling. But I learned that this and the 6 seat I mentioned were the literal only action players at the table. So don't want to bluff this guy again. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to try. Wow, what a good player I am, huh? Calling with gutters and bluffing into multiple people. Let's see if we can maybe play a more standard hand. There's an open to 30 from under the gun, an action player. I've got king queen. I'm putting in the call here. We go way multi-way to a flop of 3-3 king with 2 diamonds. The original opener checks, and when it gets to me, not rocket science here, I'm going to put in a pretty hefty bet of $100 and only get a call from the guy on my right. That is a situation I'm quite happy with. The turn is a 5 of diamonds. Not happy with that one. He checks, and as we saw last hand, I think he can check trap with some value. So I'm going to check behind here, knowing he's probably just calling the flop with either a king, a 3, or a diamond. We're losing to 2 of those hands, so I check. The river is the 8 of clubs, and he checks to me again. I do think now he probably is weighted towards a pocket pair, maybe a weak king that he's not too confident in. And he just saw me bluff into him a few hands ago, so I go for $100. I actually think a bigger bet makes a lot of sense here. 200, 150, but maybe this was the right amount because I get snap called. I show my king queen, and he shows pocket 4s. Maybe that was the right amount. Maybe he was going to call bigger. I don't know, but all I do know is we're taking down the chips. The next hand we play is a very interesting one. It's a bomb pot, a Hold'em 5-10 bomb pot. That's right. Those of you that have played at Bellagio are going, wait a minute, they have bomb pots? I know. All the casinos do, or most of them in Vegas, but no one wants to play them. And from Texas, we all want to play bomb pots, so that was surprising. Someone suggested it. I immediately was like, yes, I'm very down. We see pocket jacks. And the first flop comes king 6 jack. The second flop comes 7 8 4. We have the second nuts. The guy on my right, who is a new player, is also kind of crazy like the previous guy on my right. He bets out for $40. There's a lot of draws. I want to pump some money in here. I raised to this amount. I say this amount because this entire time, has anyone else had this problem? These $10 chips just mess with my brain. I just can't figure it out. I'm sorry. Corbin was telling me that it's just me. I don't know. I asked the dealer how much it is.
I actually don't know how much it is, to be honest. It just felt like a good amount. That makes sense.
You heard her, fellas. It's 140. It gets to the other action player in the game, and he calls the 140. Wow, okay. What is that? That has to be like hearts or like queen 10 of hearts, something like that. The guy on my right now jams for a little over 800, and I'm sitting here with jacks. What do? I snap call. Yeah. The other guy who called the 140 goes into the tank. I'm like, how are you not folding? What can you have? Like, you either have a straight or a set. That's all you can call with. Eventually, he does fold. And I asked the guy, what question does everyone think I want to ask? There was one thing I wanted to ask him.
You're getting cooler. You don't have kings, do you?
I'm playing that side.
Okay, I have jacks. You got a set? Yeah.
Ooh, he doesn't have kings. He has pocket fours without the 4 of hearts. So what does that mean, ladies and gentlemen? This is a $2,000 pot, and I'm free rolling him for his entire stack. The turns are the 10 of spades and the 6 of spades. Now we pick up a 3/4 outs. And the rivers are the 3 of spades and the 8 of hearts. Dude, the guy was like visibly excited when I showed him pocket jacks. Like he was telling his wife behind him how excited he was. And I was like, you know that you're getting free rolled for your whole stack, right? But I digress. We actually do win like $200 between the $30 antes and that $140 call. An interesting pot. We pick up pocket 5s in the big line. There's an open from the +1 from a professional player. A call from another professional player. It's just like the professional corner over there. I kind of want to avoid them, but I'm down for pocket 5s. But there's a 3-bet to 120 from one of the action players. Now, of course, calling 3-bets from the big line, probably not the best idea, but I've said this before on the vlog. If you're new here, I really don't like folding pocket pairs. The feeling that gets me to the casino is flopping sets, and we're very deep. I'm putting in the call. Don't want to see a 4-bet from +1. That would suck, but he puts in the call. Thank God. The other guy calls as well. Almost $500 in the middle here to a flop of deuce 6-4. Damn it. We don't flop a set, but we get as close as possible. It checks around to the 3-better, and he continues for $120. Now, this is actually a pretty fair price to go with a gutter and 2 outs to a set. But what hands do I have that call big 3-bets? Usually it's going to be like 8s or 9s, but 6 or 4s could make it in there. Damn it, I have pocket 5s. That's right there. I bump it up right now to 415. Look, we have equity if we get called. I can see good players here with like aces just shipping it, going, if they have me, they have me. Don't want that to happen. It folds around to the 3-better, and he folds too. We get it through. Corbin asked me if I have a set. I flip it over and go, you know what? That's not a set. That's right. We get a bluff through. I've tried a couple times. Hasn't worked, but this one gets through. Probably didn't have the best hand. But we take down like $600 just like that. We are approaching a $3,000 stack. I've got 4 8 of clubs. Decide to open it. Get a couple callers from Corbin and then the action player in the 60. Not the best. The flop comes king queen. Multi-way here in between 2 players with absolute error. I just check it. The turn's a 9 of clubs. Still want to just check it here. And the river is the ace of diamonds. Now, neither player likes to fold, and Corbin knows I often bluff, and I just showed the pocket 5s a couple orbits earlier. But this makes some sense. Ace 10, ace jack. The ace of diamonds hits my range quite a lot. I think we probably don't have the best hand. I put in a bet for $50, and it takes it down again. We are just piling pots together here, but none of them are that big. We continue the shenanigans with 5-3 of spades. I open a $30, get 1 call from a pro, and then the guy on my right, to a flop of deuce 6 king with 2 diamonds. All right, we have a gutter. That is about it. Go ahead and check here, and it checks around. The turn is an offsuit 4. We drill the nuts. Even better yet, the guy on my right bets out for $40. Now, there are 2 flush draws. I don't know how present they're going to be with it getting checked on the flop, and then he would have to be leading here with the flush draw. I end up popping it up to $120. The first guy folds, and the second guy, he's been given a ton of action. I've been showing a lot of bluffs. This has to be a draw or top pair, right? What other hand is leading here? He looks at me. He just soul reads me for a opened $30 5-3 straight. It puts in the fold. My mind, I mean, the table's tight, but not this guy. I turn the nuts. I think this is my moment to get value, and he puts in the fold. Another massive pot with a good hand eludes us. We end up trying some more bullshit with 5-9 of clubs and getting raised on the turn, so that one was unfortunate. And then I look down at king, queen again from the button. There's an open to 40 from the action player, a call from another action player. I'm in there, and so is Corbin on my left. To a flop of 10 jack deuce, we have an open ender. That sounds pretty good. I'm planning on calling a bet, but actually it checks to me on the button. I would hate to bet get raised by Corbin or the guy in seat 6 who's very capable with air. I check behind. The turn is a miracle ace of hearts. We turn the nuts. But sadly, it checks to me again. Look, there are a litany of draws. Any king, any queen, hearts. There's top pair, second pair, you name it. I bet out for $100. And Corbin on my left puts in the call. The river is the 4 of clubs. Love it. We still have the nuts. He checks to me. And as I said, our history, he knows, and he's already seen today that I'm not bluffing because it's 5-10. I could have air here. So I bet out for $230 and quickly get called. I show him the nuts, and he says he had ace jack. Wow, he's been having a really tough day, or kind of running on polar ends of the spectrum here, which is going to play into this next hand, which sadly is somewhat of a big one. We have around a $3,000 stack. If this game was more action with how good I've been running, I think I could have 4 or 5 grand, but we don't. But a $1,000 win currently is pretty good. I have queen jack of diamonds under the gun. I pop it up to $30. Corbin on my left, who is in for more than one bullet, 3-bets me to 130. It folds around to me, and my real live thinking was if this wasn't one of my best friends, I would put in the fold here, because even tilted, we're probably dominated here in some fashion. But he's capable, although doesn't bluff me that much. I think it's fine to put in a call here and evaluate. That's what I do. To a queen high flop. Oh no, this is either really good or really bad. I check, and he bets for $110. I don't think I can fold yet. I put in the call. The turn is the 4 of clubs, and I check to him. I think this is going to be really telling if he's got aces, kings, ace queen, pocket queens, God forbid, or if he has some sort of lower pocket pair or a bluff. He bets for $350. Look, I've been playing well. I think the hand just needs to end here. This currently isn't me thinking giving action to my friend. That old saying that I really don't let go of top pair. I don't let go of top pair. I put in the call for $350. Really sketchy. The river is the 9 of spades. If I check and he bets like $400, I'm going to feel priced in and I'm going to hate it. I check, praying for him to check back. He thinks about assembling a bet. If he bets big here and I call and lose, after all of this good play, we're going to be down on the session and I am going to be devastated. But thankfully, he checks back. I show him the queen. It shows ace queen. Oh, hell no. That is not how the movie script was going to end. And we lose a very big $1,000+ pot because I decided to give some action pre-flop. That really is super unfortunate, because pre-flop, I was literally thinking to myself, I would fold to anyone else. That's really unfortunate. That's just completely on me, and now our win is not that big, but we're still up on the day. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're coming into the last hand of the vlog, and wow, maybe the most interesting. I really want a lot of y'all's thoughts on this, because I really don't know. Let's just get into it. I've got 10-9 offsuit in the big blind. There's a open from the pro corner over there from one of the pros I haven't seen play many hands at all to $20, just a min click. I'm in the big blind. I'm not folding 10-9 offsuit for $10. Sorry. The flop comes 8-5-5. I check and he bets out for $30. Now I think you could definitely get behind the argument of folding now, and I definitely should. But I'm still a little tilted from the queen jack hand. That's not a reason. That's just why I called. The turn is a 10 of hearts. We have top pair. I think I have the best hand. I check to him, and he continues for 120. This is getting kind of weird. His value range is really thin. Like, big pocket pairs, obviously. That's really it. Big pocket pairs, a 5 or like ace 10. Nothing else should be betting for value. So I put in a curious call. The river is where everything hits the fan. It's the 4 of diamonds. Seems like a card that is in brick, unless he has 6-7, which I'm just thinking about now for the first time. I check, and he blasts for $600. This literally doesn't make any sense to me at all. If he's got a big pocket pair like aces, kings, do they really want to, like, what hand wants to bet this big? Even value. Why would he be overbetting the pot with value? It just doesn't make any sense. If he's got a boat, again, why would he bet so big? I really felt like this was a bluff. This was one of the longest tanks I've gone into in Vegas the entire time I was here. Obviously, it's just a massive moment for me. If I call and I'm wrong, we are down on the session, and again, I will be absolutely devastated. If I fold, we will still be up a decent amount of money. Look, I think it really just comes down to player type. The pro corner, there's 3 of them. I've seen one of them bluff. I haven't seen the other one bluff more than one street. The third one is this guy. Haven't seen him play a hand. It just seems like it just doesn't make any sense, but for some reason, I just think he has it. I put in the fold. I don't know. What do you guys think about that one? That ends the session. We were up over 3,000 at our high point, and then I decided to just dust off like 1,000. We ended up $140 for 2140. I ended up racking it up and cashing out for the small win. That was a pretty intense session, not gonna lie. There was just a lot of weird stuff going on, and the 5-10 game was just not that good. The 2-5 was so much better, and it was like a lot softer. The 5-10 is really similar to the Texas 2-5, where it just is a bunch of professionals, and the game sucks ass. So, not a game I would play if I were you, unless you want to, obviously. But there's just no reason to do it from like a profit standpoint, in my opinion. But, you know, that's just my thoughts. Next vlog, you guys can choose if anyone cares. Caesars, Aria, I do have more Bellagio, Venetian. I think I have another win vlog. So we've got a lot more Vegas to go. You guys can leave a like and subs, help the channel so much, and I will see y'all next time.